There's a rumble in the middle of the jungle at the village of the cheeky rascals. They sneak the fruit from the magical tree
and they take it to the factory.
Swish, swash, a bubbly boo. The rascals make the fruitiest chew. The flavor never stops with the rascals' fruity pops.
New rascals, the candy-coated fruity pops for the flavor that never stops.
Let's see if he keeps his foot in it. All the way down. 8.80 at 242. That boy is flying out here. What is he going to give us? 8.7 does a better time. Ladies and gentlemen, a personal best of 8.704, 247.
Okay, come this side now.
At the village of the cheeky rascals, they sneak the fruit from the magical tree
and they take it to the factory.
So what bakkie does this engine come out of?
2.7 Hilux. Old style Toyota engine or Toyota Hilux. Cubic inches, unfortunately. So it's got lots of torque and you can buy all the space off the shelf. Mazda, my first love, but eventually I think this engine can beat them all. Boost fixes everything.
Yeah. What? So why didn't he go this route? I mean, what?
I didn't want to put a tractor engine into my car. I like pretty. We built originally a small tire vehicle, so we don't need all the torque that this has. So obviously, yes, this is going to make more torque. It might be more faster depending on the driver, but a small tire, big tire, a little bit more torque, a little bit less torque. Let's see what it does.
True story. I told my wife coming here, I never in school I read spinning sounds, not sucking up to you, and I said never will I build the 1400 with a Mazda engine. Because every person was doing it.
Back then.
So I got close, I built the GX with a Mazda engine. Personally, a Mazda, money for what you get, you can't beat a Mazda. Maybe a twin cam as well, I don't know them. But personally, a Mazda engine. But here, it's not a 1400, this is a Datsun. So, this is something
Same
else.
thing?
No, it's not. No. It's got...
Same looking body.
Yeah, the untrained eye.
A Golf is a Golf?
No, here's the difference. Yeah, honest, I've got new shape, new generation. Means actually nothing. It's got a low roof.
Low roof.
Yeah.
That's got a high roof. If you look at the trimming, the beading.
Yes, yeah.
That was made for South Africa only.
This
the big boere.
Yeah.
So they
That's it. My head's longer, so I've got a big head. I'm obviously a pretty.
Speed and Sound was filled with 1400 bulls.
Yeah.
And then they disappeared for a while. And now they've seemed to come back again. It's like an evolution again of these cars coming back into the industry.
It's easy. It's cheap and it's easy. Accurately.
Yeah, but then to blow a little bit of smoke up our bums, that's why we did what we've got here. I honestly believe that you won't find what you see here, you won't find in the average build.
No.
So if you walk around at Tolton or you walk around at any car show, you'll see the difference between the workmanship, if I might call it that. But we put in just that little bit of extra effort just to make it look like
Great.
custom.
Yeah.
That's what we went for.
That's once off.
The difference comes in is we know how to make horsepower.
Yeah, for sure.
If you know how to make horsepower, you're not concerned about weight. Weight makes pretty, weight makes stable. So yeah, you make that. Yeah, we make horsepower.
Okay, saying all of that, how long did it take you to build?
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's that easy, why did it take 3 years?
Because we don't do it for business or for living. It's spare time and money. It's, you know,
And is it coming up with ideas as you get to it, or did you have an idea?
Christix is calling him.
Hoe de fuck weet jy dat? Kan haar answer.
And you said it took 3 years to build. Was that because you had certain expectations on what you wanted to do? Had you already thought out your build, or was it as you went you did it?
Because we're full of shit.
Yeah.
Everything must look perfect. That's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing, it looks like this. Bad thing, it takes time.
So you're OCD.
You never
That's
race.
fucked. Yeah,
That's the problem there.
If you had to redo something again, what would it be?
the paint job. Never ever pretty again. No.
Sticker.
It's a pain in the ass. Paint it white, put sticker. Wrap it. It's pretty, it's lekker, but to work on it, it's a bitch. No, like I said, if the spanner falls here, you want to move yourself. This engine, it's good, but it's cock in America's terms, it's a cock engine, but this engine must last me at least 2 years. If you tell the American racer, this engine must last 2 years, he says you're not going to go fast.
I want to go fast.
This thing consumes everything. Financially, family time, everything, it consumes everything. It's a long story. This car was initially H pattern, so we've got stock, very mild cams in here, good stock valves, valve springs and retainers, cut cams by Van der Linde, but very mild, because it was H pattern. Wild cams, you need to rev it and you change and it falls out the power band. So this is still my engine as I drove it the 930s. So float by Van der Linde, valve springs, retainers and cut cams, mild, fairly mild. The Haltech system, very nice. I've got a Elite 2500 in here, so it's got 8 injector outputs, so we can allocate 4 injectors for primary and 4 injectors for secondary. What's also nice there, 8 injector outputs, we can tune each individual injector. So the Haltech is clever, so we get a, on the dyno, the way we tune on a loaded dyno, no inertia, no nothing, we load the cores. So where I tune, you can't hold it down. So I get a base map, and then that's the track. That's tuning at the track. That's why you're paying for Haltech data logging.
I think any management system, you don't get a bad management system. You don't get a bad management system, you get a bad tuner. Or not even a bad tuner, you get an inexperienced tuner. If they put the wording right. So a management system is as good as its tuner.
Yes.
That's how I feel, that's how it works.
100% correct.
It's like you're taking a golf. You're starting with shit, now you want to go 9 seconds.
But it went 9 seconds.
Yeah, but after how much effort?
You said you load a base map and then you start
You
dyno.
tuned a base map.
What is a base map to a motor like this?
You didn't. So there's also lots of arguments. Some people do low inertia runs. So it loads the engine but not fully. To me, you must hold this thing. Let's say it makes 500 horsepower. I want to at 7,500. You holding it at 7,500, holding it 2-bar boost and actually tuning it. So that will be in a perfect world. That will be a tuned map.
Okay.
So you'll start at half a bar boost, load it, hold it 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, hold it exactly there, tune the side, the load side. Go 1 bar boost, go 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, hold it exactly there, tune it. That's a perfectly tuned map. But in the real world, it's impossible. So that's the way we tune. So on a loaded dyno, we'll go half a bar boost, the dyno will still hold it. I can go through all the sites. 1 bar boost, we'll go through all the sites. At 1.5 bar boost, I can't hold it anymore. So it's just spinning and making cock. So we guess from 1 bar boost to 2 bar boost, we guess the numbers. So I'll say that's a base map. Okay. So now, and it's a bit stressful because you get to the track, is it going to be lean, is it going to be too rich, you don't know, but you get at the track. So, but at least you know up until 1 bar boost, I held it on the dyno, it was tuned. So we go to the track, we put it at 1 bar boost, we drive it, okay, it's pillar there. We put 1.5 bar boost, we drive it, it's there. We go 2 bar boost, it's there. But that's the management working.
Would you need to, like most of the drivers do, would you need to retune this car if you go down to the coast?
No.
System is as clever as you
The way we tune, it's tuned very rich. Running on methanol is tuned very rich. Going to the coast, you know, I'm putting myself under pressure because I've got the biggest engine and I've got a big turbo.
And we've got big bench for something for that?
Must go. That you must ask my wife.
You can cut that part, John. How easy was that motor to stick onto the Liberty box?
Very easy. Gave everything to time. Made it.
The Diane's got huge work on both the bakkies. Massive work there.
But to get the Liberty box to work with the motor, how intense was that? Was that also just a quick management thing, or?
No, it's all mechanical. Liberty is all mechanical. As of now, no electronics involved, but we will change it in the future. But as it's here, no electronics. Right?
Running boost per gear?
Boost by time. So we've got it's called race timer. It's a function in the Haltech. Most of all the new management's got that. So I've got it as on the clutch switch. So there's a clutch switch or a clutch pressure switch. So from when you leave the clutch, the timer starts running. And as the time runs, we bring the boost in as we want it. So that's a thing we learned from the Americans all the world. So the biggest feat to build a nice car is to keep it clean, obviously. So if you had fuel lines running in here, water pipes running in here, it takes the clean away. So this is CNC bulkhead plates. So the normal person will just drill a hole, put the fitting straight through the body. But because we're full of nonsense, this is a CNC plate. So we run all the lines under the bakkie, in the fender, and through the bulkhead. I think it helps clean the engine bay. Yeah, so again, bulkhead. This they'll call a bulkhead connection. This is still cheap stuff. It's not a proper mil-spec bulkhead. But the nice thing is, again, it looks nice. And when you pull the engine, just 3 plugs undone. The harness is bolted to the engine. So 3 plugs, you take the engine out. So the harness can't wear, you can't hurt the harness. So if one day if I have to take out the engine, not that I have, so just take it there, cable tie there, and the whole engine comes out. You don't hurt the harness, you don't have to unclip the whole harness, lay it here, scratch the paint. You just there, bolt it in, cable tie, the whole engine comes out. When the engine's outside, you take the harness nicely up, you throw it in the bucket.
But you've done clever things. And this is things that you pick up over time building cars.
Of course. No, it's all experience,
yes.
But in Ironman sport. Yeah, but it looks like that. But it's proper shit. It's expensive.
It's a real deal.
But
it's a night tacky.
This bakkie, I've rewired 4 times. I like wires must be precise. So this cost money, Raychem, DR, heat shrink, proper mil-spec connectors, blah blah blah. It's money now, but it's the last harness you bought. Never again. You don't touch the wires ever again. This will last
A lifetime.
a lifetime.
Yeah. Gearboxes, wire canisters, alles. One is boost, one is for gearbox.
But I thought we're doing pictures because I'm 150 kgs. I had to counter the weight. So when you're building the car the right way is you must build the car on scales all the time. So we thumb suck. I'm sitting here, I'm 150 kgs. We need to counterweight this.
That's
So
clever.
even in drag racing you'd want the scales.
But you
must
don't get a
work
lot
out.
of people that think like that.
No, there's clever people. So in my mind, I'm sitting here. I must put whatever weight I can put here to counter me, I must put here. That's the only logical.
Why 2 cylinders?
So this is gearbox and CO2 boost. Gearbox pressure works to a different pressure as the CO2. That's why 2 different. So the big bottle is for gearbox.
Yeah.
So obviously the gearbox uses lots of CO2 and that's boost. It uses much less. That's why the small cylinder. The only difference between this system and that one,
Yeah.
I don't have a PDM. So I still got a normal, I don't know what's the right wording, analog switch on off.
What is a PDM?
A power distribution module. So if you look in here, I still got normal relays and fuses and shit. So, and it's all analog. So it's switch on, switch off. Start the button, switch on. So it's still normal analog with relays and fuses. So the PDM is all electronic. It fuses. It's a ECU with built-in relay, fuse, everything.
That's why it looks so
and
trick
that makes
in
it
his car.
makes it much cleaner, much simpler, and bulletproof.
Are you going to go that route later?
Yeah.
Is there space?
Yes.
Ask him where's the
Where?
space?
Where's the space?
Hier agter eer. I'll put it in here.
Your sticker's not that bad. But you get people that cover their whole new paint job with a cup sticker.
Yeah, this is where we changed the sticker. Look, we went with the clear vinyl.
Yes.
Where if you take the bucket into the sun, the colour still comes through
No,
the clear
no,
vinyl.
I noticed that.
So it's very subtle, if you want to call it that. I also tried, like I said, everyone builds a 1400 bakkie, especially like where this one comes in, that is a Datsun. So that's a special type of vehicle. It's got special grille. It's a proper special vehicle. It's got a low roof. So this is an entry-level bakkie, a normal 1400. So we said, let's change the game here and not build something that every single oak that has a 1400 build the same build. So we went lots of billet, custom turbo manifold, custom intake, put the engine as far back as I could, lowered the engine. So yeah, everything we went a little bit over designing. I just like the look of the engine being as far back as possible and creating a little bit of space in front. So it's a tight fit, but the look is what we went.
Why everything billet?
Billet, something a little bit different. Invia made intake for me, made a tappet cover for me. Tyron made billet, bonnet brackets, front and back. There's brackets at the bottom there, I can't really see. Water pump bracket is billets.
But I also think it escalated from
Yeah,
the intake.
it's like
so the
escalates.
billet intake came first and then
It just escalates.
But
Shiny.
the word billet sounds so heavy. You're not putting weight back into it.
You are.
So how do you compensate for that?
Horsepower.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, good answer.
So horsepower. At the end of the day, we try and make a little bit of more horsepower. I honestly feel that with the weight comes stability. Oaks, the oaks go fast with lightweight vehicles as well. That's not what we went for. We honestly feel that we can make some horsepower. So build a show vehicle that could hopefully go faster as well. So that was the aim here.
Was that so? Those are the only billet pieces you have on there.
Rear shock mounts of billet.
so dash
CO2 bracket, dash, the first to third gate, billet. Yeah, no, there's a lot of bullets. We try and help each other as well, so it's a difficult thing for us as well. Arnie stayed Randfontein, he moved to Benoni, so it was when he had something to do, we'd go there, or when we did something, yeah, he'd come here. So it's a team effort, and it's difficult because he's alone as well and I'm alone. So it was a big team effort. So it's a difficult thing for us to do. Yeah, but it was.
We couldn't have
when
done
it
it
happened.
without. I couldn't have built that thing without Wayne, and I think.
And vice versa. So yeah, it's a team effort.
Yeah,
I think the problem is. Yeah, the problem is when we've got say we've got 3 days to work on a bakkie, we would the first day would be spice gold and catching up, and then day 2 and 3 would be working on the bakkie. Engine, pretty simple. It's a Kia. It's a Kia engine. Here's a water park to prove it. Comes in the front of the head. Kia, Mazda, like I already said, you don't get anything fancy for the head. So yeah, it's a custom set of cut cams.
I've lost him on the Kia.
Okay, don't you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Just tell him.
No.
Still tappet cover.
So
A Kia Sportage came out with a Mazda engine. But
I'm going to show you
Kia,
what I'm going to
and
show
then
you.
he always say he look more.
I went and shopped. As you see, they're both the same.
Oh, sure.
This one says Kia. It came out in a Kia Sportage, and this one basically came out. It's Mazda.
Or Ford.
Yeah, so myself and Irene has always had the little argument about Kia and Mazda. I like to think of it as a Mazda or as a Kia because people don't know Kia, especially when we had the Kia tappet cover on. Head, standard valves, little mixture of springs to make it a little bit better. Cut cams, like we said, there's nothing fancy you can get at this stage for the Mazda. It's all about, these engines are all about experience. So it's got 9-to-1 compression, set of rods, nothing fancy, standard bearing.
Do you want to repeat the 9-to-1 compression without smiling?
9-to-1 compression ratio. It's got a Bob Warner S400. It actually came off of Arne's bakkie when it was still H pattern. If I remember correctly, the turbo went 930 to 53. So it came off of that bakkie and we 71mm. We slapped it on here. Bottom end.
Is it still a 3.2?
Set of pistons, set of rods, standard Mazda bearings. I got lucky and I got genuine oil pumps. Like we said, there's nothing that you can buy off shelf of these engines. So it is, if you want to call it that now, secret or whatever. But yeah, there's a set of proper pistons in, set of proper rods. 9-to-1 compression, it's a proper engine. We'll see how far it can go.
What was Arno's involvement with the motor? And
Arno is my little Mazda whisperer, if you want to call him that. So yeah,
I've got love for this engine because
he threw them away, but he loves it.
yeah, I love it.
He threw it
money
away.
for what you get. Firstly, you don't. This engine, rods, pistons, a set of Opel second-hand valve springs, and a cut caps. That's it. You go.
Thanks, Buck.
You go. This thing, you can't kill it.
Sounds like a golf motor.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
so what power are we guesstimating?
On this engine, honestly speaking, even though we say 9-to-1 compression, I think this is going to be one of the most extreme Mazda engines that we've built with the 9-to-1 compression. I honestly feel on our dyno, 600 horse.
You've got the full complement of health tech. You got the whole catalogue, yeah?
Yeah, so we've got a PMU, ECU master. It's a little bit of a mix-up, but like we said, it's resettable fuse. You don't have fuse boxes, it makes the installation much neater. It's Holtec Elite 2.5 trim pods. We'll tune it, give it a base map, as we explained that to you already. give it a base map, and then when we get to the track, then we'll
So who's going to be the brains to read all these boxes?
Arne. So that's where he comes in. That's what he does. He did the wiring on this. You can see it's super neat. He's a master. He's done it now. I think he's done so many of them that he's become so good with it. He knows exactly what goes where. So he's the tuner. He's the installer. That's his Indaba. The problem is not to get them on here, it's the physical wiring itself.
Yes.
So if you would take, when Arne did it, I would say it took him around a month to do it, but only in spare time. So it's not 24/7, so it's weekends, a little bit at night. So it is quite a big thing. You don't actually notice how many wires are in here.
I was about to say,
hoeveel drade is hier
how
nie?
many pieces of wire are there?
If you go on the Haltech, it's a 64 pin, so there's 64 wires.
Without the PDU.
Yeah, yes, US wire.
It's what?
So I would reckon it's about 100.
It's
100
US
plus.
wire,
Yes, wire. I met Arne and I built the Golf.
And he runs at 10.50 second running speed of.
That's where we worked very hard. I think it's still an achievement, even though it gave us a little bit of stick. So we went 9.9, 2:37, almost 2:38.
How long did it take you to get there?
Without a word of lie, about 4 years.
Is that how long you've been racing for?
Yeah, that's how long we've been racing that. So yes, I would say about 4 years. We went mid 11 seconds to low 11 seconds, slapped on a wheelie bar, went 10 seconds, mid 10 seconds, played around a little bit, went 9 seconds. So I must say, I think we've got the recipe, if you want to call it that now. But front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive, it's just so much easier. Wat zeg je nu, Arne? Mag je het voor je gaan? Ja. Hoe komt het?
Voor dit gewerkt.
Old school. Old school.
No me importa, mi atención soy yo y dale gracias a mi jefe por los huevos que me dio.